Okay, today we are playing a game on Dorado. We are in the Gold SR range and we will be playing Genji on attack and Reinhardt on defense. And our current team composition is Hammond, Diva, Genji, Pharah, Moira, and Mercy. I still don't like Hammond. That's just how I am. I'd rather not have Hammond, but hey, we've got Hammond. So I don't have anything to say about the team other than that, really, so let's just start the game. So we've got to attack first. We're going to go underneath, as one usually does when they're playing like Genji or Pharah. Genji or Tracer or Sombra. You know, a flanky boy. So, don't know what we're going to find up here when we come up here. We find a Hanzo and a Roadhog. The Roadhog doesn't suspect a thing, and we're trying to kill Hanzo. It didn't go super well, but we did force him back at least. Now we're going to come around the back side. We could just, like, press right up into this Zenyatta's back and right-click him, because nobody's looking this way. Nobody suspects a thing. So we could just walk right up behind him and right-click him twice, and then before he knows what the fuck, he's going to be dead, basically. Whereas instead we play a little bit more conservatively and, like, left-click him a bit, and then we end up not actually getting the kill on him. If nobody's looking at you, you can if there's, like, a squishy target there you want to kill, and nobody knows that you're coming, you can press right up against that squishy target and just be like, melee dash, dead. Easy peasy. So we managed to deflect the Helix rocket back into Soldier's face because he's bad. Which was... Because, I mean... If you haven't seen Genji use deflect, you want to be real careful before you use any ability that might kill you if it gets deflected back at you. So we're really low. Managed to get back to get healed by our team. A lot of them are dead at this point. Moira's got Coalescence, then Moira's also got Coalescence. The bitrate went to shit when both Coalescences were on the screen together. Coalescences? Coalesci? I don't know. Not really a word they ever expected to need a plural of, I'd imagine. So, trying to kill Moira. Moira's dead. It's getting real hard to tell what's going on. Okay, so we were trying to kill Soldier and Hanzo together, and that one didn't really work out super well. It's a risky one to go for after that. Like, this is cool, fair enough. But then, like, dashing into these boys, they're standing in biotic field right now, and they're right next to each other, so they've got teamwork, theoretically, for them as well. So we dash in while they're in the healy-feely, and then we end up getting murdered. Zenyatta also came up behind us as well, so he could have also taken part. Whereas we could have just played a little bit more cautiously, built up the last little part of Dragon Blade, and then gone in to make plays with Dragon Blade instead. Because killing Hanzo or Soldier was not super likely from that position. So we do have Dragon Blade built up all the same now to use on the next push. I think Zenyatta used Transcendence during the last fight, did he? I'm pretty sure he did, like right towards the end. Yeah, he used Transcendence right there. So we don't have to worry about that. We'd very much like to use our Dragon Blade before he has a chance to get Transcendence back up again. So we're going to go all the way around the backhand side, it looks like. We've got Dragon Blade ready to go, so that makes sense. If we just come up right behind the back line, they're going to be pretty upset about that one. Diva just lost her mech right at the start of this, but Diva actually died right before the start of this, which is less than ideal. So it's taken us a long time to kill this Zenyatta. So again, he wasn't looking this way. We could have just, like, pressed right up against him and, like, killed him. I mean, also we could have aimed better and, like, hit more off the left click and then dash through to kill him. So I'm not too keen on pulling out Dragon Blade when you're, like, half health, just because of the extreme risk of suddenly dying, or we're fucking a quarter health when we actually drew Dragon Blade, just because the risk of dying at that point is significantly higher. But they didn't kill us, and we ended up killing 2 people. Now this boy's pretty fucked. Hooray, we got him. Somebody is still contesting the point right now, but it's 1 person versus 5 people, so I'm content to leave them to deal with that, and we can just go and try to kill people who are reinforcing. Then we ended up not actually doing that either. We just came over here and didn't really do much of anything. So we really should have either helped with the point or actually tried to, like, harass the people reinforcing, but we did neither of those things instead, so not the most efficient use of time. So their Reinhardt just died right as we captured that checkpoint, which is going to give us some free time to push. She faded away, but there's not really anywhere for her to go. Unfortunately, we didn't aim well enough to actually finish her off at the very end right there, which is tragic. If you haven't seen Moira fade, it's also worth remembering that if you use your dash, she is going to immediately fade afterwards, so if you don't have it to follow her, you have to be pretty confident you're actually gonna, like, kill her after she fades. So there's a lot of shit going on in this room. This is a real fuck corner happening over here. Alright, he's dead now. Great. We've almost got Dragon Blade built up again. We're most of the way towards the end of the track, and they're all dying, like, super one at a time, so it's not looking good for them, especially since we're about to have Dragon Blade as well if we really need it, but, like, we are not looking like we're gonna need it unless nobody decides to push the payload, because it's actually been not getting pushed for the last few seconds. Now someone's contesting it as well, so a little bit of lag, that's fine. Could have deflected the orb back at them. The orb is really good to deflect because it's just, like, free damage, basically. And then we ended up getting killed. We would have probably been better off. I mean, you know, deflect that'd be cool. But, like, we would have been better off, like, press it so we can actually see. Like, pressing into the corner on the left-hand side here and just trying to, like, climb up the wall to break line of sight faster. Because if we just run this way, Moira's going to be draining us. She's going to be giving us the good suck the entire time. Whereas if we, like, tuck in behind the corner over here and, like, climb up the wall, we'll sort of break line of sight from her for at least a couple seconds and, like, break line of sight faster going over the staircase. But then there's a McCree up there as well. So he might have killed us instead, but just, like, running straight away from the Moira is, like, never going to result in us surviving, whereas if we go up, we might survive. Some chance is better than no chance, but... So we've used Dragon Blade, Zenyatta's using Transcendence, so we can go fuck ourselves, basically. Up and over, Roadhog is after us, he's very upset that we've done what we've done. He's probably still coming. No, but McCree was coming instead. I would have looked back just to see if Roadhog was still following, because I would have expected him to follow up the staircase, given how low we were, and he looked pretty after us, but McCree finishes off instead, so. Who do we almost have ult for? We've almost got ult for everybody except us, so. Great job, us. We used ours at a fine time, but it got countered by Zenyatta. What can you do? Life is difficult sometimes. So if somebody's up there, apparently, it's probably McCree. No, maybe not. McCree just killed somebody over there. Nobody was actually up here. So 2 people are dead. We have to wait for them to regroup before we can actually do anything, so we might as well just wait around here. Oh. Sneaky, sneaky. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. That was very upsetting to me. So, could have gotten closer. We only ended up hitting 1 headshot off the right click. So we could have got closer, or just left click him, because there's no way this dude has fucking cyborg reflexes and is gonna get headshot by one of them and then move out of the way. Like, this is not close enough for the right click. So if we're gonna right click, we gotta get closer. But we could also just left click. The dude's not moving. The dude is committing the traditional faux pas of standing perfectly still. So we could have just done that, and then this boy would be dead. And then we tried to deflect his rocket back at him. He just held his shot. We didn't kill him. Just press up closer for the right click, because head hitbox isn't that big. You know, it's not like he's a tank. Or just left click him, because he was standing perfectly still. Don't stand perfectly still. If you were the soldier in that position and you're standing perfectly still, you good chance of dying right there. So Soldier's still not exactly having a great time. McCree started using Deadeye, which is why we stopped to deflect over in that direction. We didn't deflect any Deadeye, so sad, but everybody else is dead anyway, so doesn't matter, does it? So we mostly got Dragon Blade built up. I wouldn't have kept going forward. I wouldn't have gone for the health kit. I would have just backed out right there, because I really don't want to die, like, from this position. I just wouldn't have kept going forward, because we've ended up, like, separating ourselves from our team, like, a lot. Just kind of putting ourselves further in the enemy team. Because it's not like our presence was a secret. by that point. You know, we were, like, dashing past Roadhog and going further and further into their team. And ended up being, like, really isolated in the middle of several of them. And then Soldier had Tac Visor as well, so I mean, you know, get fucked, basically. But I wouldn't have kept going forward at that moment in time, given that we had just almost died to Roadhog. Dashing past him was a bit of a risky maneuver. So he's using Transcendence, but we've got Dragonblade, so great news for us. McCree kind of fucked that one up. Hammond did just die, but if we can make big enough plays with Dragonblade, it's not the end of the world. So, we didn't make very big plays. So we... Yeah, so we tried to dash after Moira, after she faded away from us. And then, didn't get the second cut in on McCree, and he actually managed to roll away from us, sadly enough. I don't really have that much to say about that one. It was just more like, the people we went after was fine, it's just we didn't quite mechanically execute on it, because if we got the one extra cut in on the McCree, because we missed him, jumped over, and then cut him as he rolled away. If we got the other cut in, he would have died, and then we would have got the reset, and it would have been a lot easier to keep chaining kills. So, aim the sword better, is basically all there is to say about that one, really. Because, I mean, we went after the healer, and then we went after the two, like, long-range hit-scan DPS. He's got Tac Visor again, so we can go fuck ourselves right now. This is, like, a really bad time to die, because we're in overtime right now, and really close to having, Dragonblade. But, I mean, we didn't know that he had Tac Visor back up. If he had Dragonblade up, that'd be pretty spooky. So, So, Genji's not exactly the fastest hero in the game, but we're really close to having Dragonblade, and he's decently fast, so I think it's probably worth staying on Genji, just because if we can get back to the fight and use Dragonblade, we've got good odds of hopefully winning the fight, but we just got flashbanged and killed instead. Because usually you'd want to change to a faster hero, but Dragonblade is a very strong ultimate, and Genji, he's not the slowest hero in the world, is he? So... Well, she just got earth-shattered right at the end there. He said, fuck this, I'm tired of this shit. Still took her a while to die, so he must have missed. Or maybe he didn't actually go for her. I assumed he was going for her, based off of what was happening. Didn't get back again. It's not the end of the world. We got it most of the way towards the final checkpoint. And Dorado, one of those maps where you can feasibly win on any of the 3 checkpoints. So, hardly the end of the world. Oh, do they actually let you change off of the role you locked in on for looking for group now? Because I remember that if you went into one of these things as, like, DPS or whatever, it wouldn't let you pick a different category, but we picked DPS, and now we're a tank, so I guess they changed it. Great job. Great job, Blizzard. So our team's real far up. It's hard for D.Va to get punished for that, but I mean... Junkrat just tried to get back up here, but failed, and kind of just, like, ground his face off on the wall, so that's good for him. He's probably stoked about that. Don't do that. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Like, if they got any crowd control at all, like, there's a Roadhog over there, there's gonna be a Roadhog there in the near future, right? With these Roadhog buffs, like, there's gonna be a Roadhog there more often than not these days. Like, this gets you killed. That gets you hooked and murdered. And we almost, like, we half died regardless. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Very risky business. Poor Lucio, he's trying to get it to ride the wall, but May's wall is so fucked up sometimes like that. We took a fairly large spike of damage right there, to be fair. Yeah, we should be trying to back up, because we weren't really backing up at the time, but we died there regardless from that point. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have gone up to smack the guy as well, so I'm not going to begrudge you for that one, because I'd also be like, fuck Lucio. May walled him off, I'm going to fuck that Lucio. No homo. Full homo, actually. So, we've, that was scary. We've got most of... Well, we got 2/3. That is most. That is, like, technically speaking, most of Earth Shatter built up, which is cool. Their Reinhardt is probably pretty close to having it as well at this point. He hasn't... Ooh, I was going to say he hasn't gotten to do as much swinging as us, so he might be... he's probably further away, but he was actually slightly closer than we were. I didn't think he got to do that much swinging during the fight, but I guess I'm wrong. And then we didn't really get a chance to use Earth Shatter, because we're in, like, a really bad spot right now. Most of our team is also dead. Well, most of our healers are dead, so we've lost the fight by this point anyway. We wouldn't want to Earth Shatter. Unless we can line up, like, a 5-man Earth Shatter and kill all 5 of them. Which is possible, but not super likely most of the time. So we've basically lost that checkpoint. Not the end of the world. We've got Earth Shatter built up right now. They do have a Doomfist, which is, like, super inconvenient. Especially to a Reinhardt. Not a fun hero to play against. Everybody out here complaining about fucking Bridget fucking up Reinhardt's day. Fucking Doomfist is infinity% worse than Bridget when it comes to playing Reinhardt. But Doomfist is infinity% worse when it comes to all characters, basically. Except Roadhog. That's basically it at this point. So, Mercy just died, Junkrat died as well, so this checkpoint's not looking particularly good either at this point. We really just want to, like, back up and wait for our team to regroup, because we could just easily end up making this work. Making this worse, not work. We could make it work, potentially, but, you know, that's hard. So we got split up by the dragon, and then the people that didn't get the same way past the dragon as us ended up dying, and then it's all falling apart very quickly at this point. We really should have just been backing up because we were trying to defend the street 4 versus 6, which is not super likely to work out. And I mean, some of our team was still going forward, which we don't want them to do, but if they decide to do that, so, you know, people sadly don't always do what we want them to do. So Moira just fucking died. She's going to be upset about that one. I know I would be. We do have Earth Shatter built up, but... Well, Hammond's basically dead without it at this point. Oh god, the bitrate's gone to shit. This is on HD, right? Yep. Oh wait, it's on auto. No, that's how it is. Okay. Very upsetting. It's like trying to watch the porn channel on, you know, one of the porn channels that you don't have. I can't think of the exact fucking term for it right now. Whatever. You're trying to decipher the crackly porn. It's like that, basically. Not that the young'uns know anything about that. Well, with the massive information superhighway we all have access to now, which we mostly just use for porn. I remember reading that porn makes up something like 70% of the internet, which sounds ridiculous, but I can easily believe that at the same time. Forgive the sudden jump cut, something happened, someone disturbed me, presumably they were summoned by the fact I was talking about porn. You know how it is. So Doomfist was up there, we went back a little bit further than we had to, it was fine, whatever. So Doomfist's over here. This is super inconvenient. But we got him in the end, because he kind of fucked it up. Nice. Which is a lot of what it comes down to playing against Doomfist, really. Is like, I hope he fucks up, because otherwise he'll be really hard to kill. So their Hammond is, like, behind us right now. Yeah, he just kept going. He just kept on going right there. So Hammond's behind us right now. There we go, we just got bonked into them. He is presumably... Yep, he's still back there. He's spinning around the central platform at this point. Oh yeah, pin him out of the self-destruct. God, I hate when that happens. It's just such a lose-lose situation where you see the Reinhardt charging at you while self-destruct is happening, and... Oh! Oh, he did it! He fucking did it! Look at that. Oh! You can see the game. You can see the game try to grab him as he disappeared. Because there's like a half second where it kind of stops. And then it's like, okay, no, he jumped. It tried to grab him, but he just barely slipped away. back up a little bit. Minefield, very scary. I was saying something. Oh yeah, you see the Reinhardt coming to you while self-destruct is going, and your choices are get pinned and die to self-destruct, or countercharge him and die to self-destruct. So it's such a bad situation to end up in. So the real players don't end up in that situation, but it's hard to know if the D.Va is just gonna ult you suddenly. So, 2 people on our dead team. 2 people on our dead our team is what I was about to say there, so I think I might be having another stroke. A lot of our team are dead, so we just gotta really back up before we die as well. And now we've started going back, even though we just got out. Healer's here, Mercy's here to heal us, hooray, fantastic. Pharah just died, oh, don't like that, don't like that. Would rather play this a little bit more slowly, a little bit more cautiously, where we walk at them, shield up. We got time. They've still got they're a little ways away from the end so far. We can always charge if we absolutely have to. Like, I'd rather play it a little bit more cautiously and try to walk at them and earth shatter them rather than charge headlong into them, because now, from this position, it's going to be a lot harder to get an earth shatter off on more than one person, and we did in fact only get one person. So I'd rather hold the shield up and just, like, march at them with the Earth Shatter and try to get that to land, rather than just charge straight into them. So we changed to Tracer, and then we were like, oh, don't need to go do that, just change back to Winston. Not like the greatest hero to pick against that team comp, really. Mostly say this because of Doomfist, but also they still have a Reinhardt, so if we don't have a Blade to block Earth Shatter, that's very sad for us. We're going to go back to change again. We were, but then we just heard their Hammond ult over here, so we're gonna come back over here, I guess. It's way easier to get that that Winston achievement, Minesweeper, now that there's an actual minefield in the game, huh? I think that's how I got that achievement on, like, all of my accounts, was because of Hammond. Because I didn't have it before, but I didn't play Winston that much at the same time, so... things are not looking good. Like, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. We're playing Winston versus a team that is not great to play Winston against, so there's not a lot we do from that position, really. So, change the Tracer, faster hero, stalls points, good times. We're gonna have to get pretty lucky to get away with this one, though. Alright, it's gonna take some incompetency on their part. Nope, got punched. Not even like punch, just like punched with the little baby fist. I know it's just because, like, this fist is, like, really big for Doomfist, but whenever I see, like, his ungloved fist, I'm like, why is his hand so little? Even though I'm sure he could actually just, like, crush my head with his regular hand at the same time, you know. So, miraculously enough, we haven't lost yet, so we get to try again. But, like, let's be real, it's not looking good still, is it? And then, we ended up C9ing it a little bit, but, like, let's be real. Wasn't gonna happen, was it now? Who got play of the game? It might be us. Yeah, it was us. Easy peasy. I couldn't really think of anything else that might have gotten it, really. All Hammond players are trash. Not you, you're fine, but, like, everybody else is trash. Not the greatest, but I mean, hey, we got it, so there. YOLO Bro is a pretty good name for a Doomfist. So I don't really have an overarching thing to say about that one. Nope. Other than, I guess, don't be afraid to, like, press right up against people if they aren't looking at you. Because if they aren't looking at you, they ain't gonna see you coming. Or left-click that soldier, because he wasn't moving, like a scrub. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.